Hi, my name is Barbara Korzusznik, and as a president of the Polish Association of Organizational Psychology, I would like to welcome you all to the opening ceremony at the 21st European Association of Work and Organizational Psychology Congress. The co-organizers of the Congress are three partners: European Association of Work and Organizational Psychology, Polish Association of Organizational Psychology, and our logistic partner, Business Service Gallup. I would therefore like to welcome the European Association of Work and Organizational Psychology Board, the City Vice Mayor Jerzy Woźniak, the Vice President of the Silesian Zagłębiowska Metropolis Danuta Kamińska, our host Ewa Bogusz-Mur, National Symphonic Orchestra of the Polish Radio Director. I welcome the Rector, Professor Ryszard Koziołek, keynote speaker of the opening ceremony, all invited speakers and all delegates, sponsors, exhibitors, and volunteers, friends. I remember 4th July 2013. It was time when the president of the Alliance of Organizational Psychology, Professor Milton Hackl, was visiting Katowice with his wife Lee. I remember that he stood on the coal mine hoist tower and looked around. He saw a fantastic view of the city and said, "Why couldn't the EAWOP Congress have been held there?" I replied that it was impossible because Katowice are heavy industry, not Congress-oriented. I said, "How can you imagine that?" And Hackl said, "You had to create the conditions so that the conference could take place here." And we have created conditions. Katowice are the capital of European Science 2024, developing new technologies. The change is visible everywhere. It is a pity that Milton is not with us today, because I am sure he would be very pleased that his prediction has come true. I'll be sure to tell him everything when we meet. As the president of the Polish Association of Organizational Psychology, I am delighted that my city has been given the honor of hosting the Congress as a city we are proud of, where the idea of the future is present everywhere. Over the next 3 days, 1,700 people will have the opportunity to interact with the issues of work and organizational psychology, presenting the results of their own work and listening to the results of the others. They will share their good practices and ideas. I believe that thanks to the Congress, we will explain why the future of work is now. Who are we as work and organizational psychologists, and what is our role in the global world? I wish us the great Congress. Thank you.
My name is Barbara Zborczewska. I am also a co-organizer of this Congress. And Barbara has mentioned the organization cooperating to realize the 21st EAWOP Congress in Katowice. Now you can see people who contribute the most to organizing this event. Our task force was mixed with Polish and British colleagues. This is not coincidental. You certainly recognize the same people who were committed in preparation for the 20th EAWOP Congress in Glasgow. They decided to engage again fully. Loud applause will be appropriate here. As you will see on the screen, the Congress has a great set of honorary patronages. The city of Katowice, with its mayor, hosts us with pride. Today, we can experience a sample of their hospitality. I mean our meeting in this beautiful building and the concert we are waiting for today. But as you see, Silesian Voivodeship and Upper Silesian and Zagłębie Metropolis also gave us their patronages. The group of patrons could be not missing the University of Silesia in Katowice with its rector. With Barbara, we can say with our rector. And also a convention bureau, Silesian Convention Bureau, appreciate our event promoting this region. Dear patrons, thank you very much. I couldn't forget about the sponsors of our Congress, which names you can see on the screen. You will meet some of them in the lower lobby and their stands, and others are sponsors of the social hour, which has been organized for Friday late afternoon. Thank you very much for your partnership. And the last and warm thank you to organizations that support our Ukrainian delegates financially. Due to them, Ukrainian psychologists can participate in Congress and share their research with academics and practitioners worldwide. This is how we win this war. Now, I would like to invite on the stage Professor Annemarie Hiemstra, the President of the European Association of Work and Organizational Psychology.
Thank you, Basha and Barbara, and all of you. How really great it is and festive, and what an honor to welcome all of you here today. My name is Annemarie Hiemstra, and I'm currently the president of EAWOP. The last opening ceremony was actually 4 years ago in Turin. So how long it has been. And since then, of course, we have experienced quite some disruptive events. The corona pandemic happened and war in Ukraine. And this has influenced the world of work, our profession, and also our lives and our members. So it has also made us reflect as well, as an association and as professionals, what work and organizational psychology has to offer and how we can have impact to improve work and working conditions in light of the current challenges that we are all facing. So I feel that the topic of the Congress, The Future is Now, the challenges, the changing world of work, is very fitting and very timely. And what I know for sure is the strength of our work and organizational psychology and our research and practices, because here we are with so many people in Katowice, almost 1,700 delegates signed up and are contributing to this Congress. So I really can say that we are alive and kicking. And the coming days, we will celebrate this with an excellent program, which is really filled to burst with inspiring keynotes, symposia, presentations, and also interesting collaborations such as science and practice work together. And all of this would not have been possible without all of your contributions, and in particular without the hard and committed work of the task force. Basha just already mentioned their names. So together with countless volunteers and support staff, they are working to make this event possible. And this is really important because EAWOP is made by its members, and we are really, truly a volunteer organization. And I think that the Congress is such an excellent example of what we can do and achieve together. And so it is also a great opportunity to celebrate the people who help make EAWOP what it is today, the thriving association that we are all part of. And so it is also therefore with great pleasure and my honor to announce the winner of this year's EAWOP Lifetime Contribution Award. It is awarded biannually at the Congress for members who have made an outstanding contribution to development of EAWOP. And this year's winner is Helen Barron. Helen. Yes, and Helen, she is a practitioner psychologist working independently in the United Kingdom, and her main areas of work are in the area of employee selection and assessment systems, and she has always worked internationally, including both international projects in and outside of the UK. She has contributed to projects such as development of the European test standards and the international guidelines for the International Test Committee. And she has also been the representative towards EAWOP on behalf of the British Psychological Society for quite a while. And she did that just before she joined the EAWOP Executive Committee in 2013. And during her time in the Executive Committee, Helen was Treasurer and General Secretary. And furthermore, she was and is one of the driving forces behind the successful WorkLab series. And the WorkLab aims to provide a platform for the latest scientific research to be brought to an audience of practitioners who can thereby also develop, enhance their professional practice and skills. And bridging the science practitioner gap has been very special for Helen, and is something that she has always worked very hard to do so. In that sense, she embodies the mission that EAWOP has to bridge the science practitioner gap and have a positive impact. Currently, Helen is EAWOP's representative in the EFPA Board of Assessment, and last but not least, it was already mentioned, Helen was part of the task force for the 20th EAWOP Congress that was planned to take place in Glasgow, and she has showed such great resilience, and she continued to work tirelessly on the task force for the current Congress, which is great. Now, I had the pleasure to work with Helen in the EC for a few years, and I am still impressed by the immense body of knowledge that she holds on EAWOP and EAWOP activities, as well as her thorough and decisive way of working. Helen has really, truly a great organizational talent, and she's committed to the values and missions of EAWOP and contributing through her work and actions to a better and inclusive working environment for all. So EAWOP is really made by its members, and I'm very pleased to honor you today. You are sitting there still. I mean, I'm talking, but you should be looking at Helen. Luckily, you have her picture. So please do come on stage to receive the well-deserved award.
I would just like to say thank you. It's kind of humbling to be given an award like this for an organisation and all the people that have gone before me. EAWOP is a fantastic organisation to work for. I've just really enjoyed the ability to just kind of get on and do things that the organisation has. It's only small and it doesn't have a lot of resources, but it kind of makes things happen, and I've worked in lots of committees and things, and sometimes things don't happen. I would like to thank some of the people that got me here, particularly Angie sitting there, Angela Carter, who first, I think, pushed me to get involved with EAWOP and showed me how you could make things happen. But Anne-Marie and the other presidents I worked with, Gudella and Frederick, and just so many people that have been absolutely brilliant to work with and a network, and I'm so enjoying seeing everybody again here. So thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite Professor Ryszard Koziołek, the rector of University of Silesia and the chair of the consortium Katowice European Capital of Science 2024. Director, please come to us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What an extraordinary view. So many psychologists in this magnificent hall. Don't worry, I'm not a psychologist, I'm a literary scholar. Dear esteemed guests, it's a great pleasure to see you. It's a great pleasure and excitement. And please take our warmest welcome to all entities of European Association of Work and Organizational Psychology Congress. The world of work is undergoing unprecedented transformations, driven by rapid advancements in technology, shifting demographics, and evolving societal values. As researchers, practitioners, and advocates in the field of work and organizational psychology, you are in the forefront of understanding these changes and shaping the future of work. This Congress provides an unparalleled platform for scholars, professionals, and industry leaders to converge and engage in meaningful dialogue, sharing cutting-edge research, innovating practices, and insightful perspectives. I'm sure we will all be beneficiaries of your work. But now allow me a few personal remarks. It's the end of classic keynote speaking. My grandfather was a carpenter. As a child, I spent many hours in his workshop. The large industrial window, the colors and smells of the wood made this workshop my favorite place to play, especially in bad weather. Grandpa let me play with simple tools. I loved hammering nails into different types of wood. He patiently explained to me why nails bend in oak wood and go easily into pine wood. He taught me, as always in good teaching, something more. He taught me that material things resist our body and the tools that man has made, but also that overcoming this resistance can be wise, based on knowledge and a close relationship between man and the subject of his work. Grandpa gave me a general lesson, namely that what resists nature and man requires work. Years later, I found the same lesson in Aristotle. Breaking resistance of the material world is a feature of every life that wants to live. The ancient Greeks distinguished work to sustain life from creative work. The first was proper to the animal and to the slave. It's medieval animal laborans. The second one, the creative work of craftsman or artist, was the work of a free man. It required what the ancient Greeks called techne. In ancient Greek philosophy, the term techne referred to a concept that encompassed both art and craft. It can be translated as a skill, art, or craftsmanship. Techne represented a practical and productive knowledge or skill that enabled individuals to create or produce something. Techne also had a philosophical aspect to it. It was contrasted with episteme, which referred to theoretical knowledge or scientific understanding, while episteme focused on abstract concepts and universal truths. Techne emphasized the practical and applied knowledge required for craftsmanship and artistic creation. Techne and episteme, two sides of human work. We are in the city of Katowice, in the area of the former coal mine. Hundreds of these were built in this region. There is still a kind of work culture here. It is an important component of the cultural capital of Silesia. Natural resources, mainly coal, industrial work, and modern technologies made Silesia one of the richest regions in Europe at the turn of 19th and 20th centuries. The history of work in Silesia is the history of work in the modern West. Economic success, which is a result of human labor combined with industrial tools, came at a terrible price. Degradation of the natural environment and of resource deposits, depopulation of industrial cities. And what is perhaps the most important here for us, for you, it turned thousands of people into animal laborants again. Living things, working for the sustenance of life, human labor has become a component of machine technology. Greek techne became a privilege of the few, or a hobby like gardening or tinkering. Episteme closed itself within the walls of universities. What is the future of human work in Silesia? This question has been asked for many years, but almost everyone who lives and works here, citizens, politicians, investors. We, the people of the Academy, join these questions and answer in connection with the title of European City of Science, which Katowice received for 2024. On the initiative of Mayor of Katowice, Marcin Krupa, an academic environment represented by me, Katowice decided to apply for the title of European City of Science in 2024. We got it. We are very proud of it. No other city in Central Eastern Europe has had this title before. On the list of previous title holders are Leiden, Trieste, Toulouse, Manchester, Copenhagen, Dublin, Torino, Munich, Stockholm. Katowice is not the largest academic center in Poland and Europe, that's clear. The most persuasive in our application was the idea of replacing heavy and mining industry with scientific research, advanced education, and close cooperation between the universities and their environment. The civilizational transformation of Katowice does not mean breaking the bonds with the unique identity of Silesia and Zagłębie, which developed thanks to the huge industry heritage of the region. On the contrary, high technical standards, centuries-long familiarity with advanced technologies and work organization, primacy of competence and diligence in assessing a human being, and the resulting tolerance provide great supporting in building innovation and smart industry culture here in Katowice more than anywhere else. The successful application was the effect of joint effort by City of Katowice and the academic circle of 7 public universities united in the academic consortium Katowice City of Science. which includes Karol Szymanowski Academy of Music, Academy of Fine Arts, Academy of Physical Education, University of Economics, Silesian University of Technology, Silesian Medical University, and my University of Silesia. By working together, the universities are able to respond to the most important and extremely complex civilizational challenges facing the city and the region. These include healthcare, energy, technological and social transformation after the area of heavy industry, climate change, digitalization and cybersecurity, depopulation, and improving general education. We quickly realized that the value of this title and our cooperation in 2024 will be determined by long-term effects. What will remain after 2024? We gave ourselves the simplest and most ambitious, almost fantastic answer. We want Katowice to become and remain a real city of science. What I mean? To the worker's alienation from his work, of which Marx wrote in Capital, has now been added an alienation from science and specialized knowledge, which has become a kind of new magic. And as a third one, alienation from digital information system led by AI. These are powerful forces that make the human individual vulnerable and dependent. The task we have set ourselves is an attempt to create space and conditions so that citizens, scientists, and students can work together and continuously on understanding and improving the reality in which we live. The inhabitants of the city of science are citizens who can meet in the common space of 7 open universities, ask any question, and get the best existing answer. We will not do it alone, nor within one scientific discipline. The absolute independence of discipline or a specialist bring absolute arrogance, and finally, the absolute loneliness of a specialist, closed in his own language, methods, and exclusive competences. Life is heterogeneous. It does not lend itself to specialization. The philosophy of new job requires a new awareness. In the city of science, we need our mutual competences, professional and non-professional. We need my grandfather, the great work psychologist avant la lettre, to learn not to treat the world as an object that resists us, but as an organism with which and within which we cooperate for the benefit of all living beings. Thank you for your attention. Have a great time working together.